I was in this record label meeting, and this little kid, man, he worked at the label. He about 20. He's like, man, you want to hear this artist we finna sign? I was like, yeah. He played it. It sounded like shit. It was just like junk being clumped together. And I was just like, what the fuck? I don't understand. What are we doing? And so he was like, oh, you don't think you can rap, do you? I was like, nah. He's like, that ain't the point.
It don't matter.
I was like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work out. I shouldn't be here, my nigga.
That's so opposite, man.
Fit.
Like, I don't understand
He's like,
that
yo,
part
that
of
ain't
it.
the point. He's like, man, this song, it just make us feel good. I was like, all right.
Interesting.
So, but what that does is, and then me and Donnie was talking, it let me know that it's Generation X's fault. We did a horrible job of raising our children. Like, we did a horrible job of giving them information. We didn't give them no fucking information.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So
I agree with that 1,000%.
Why do I gotta put information in raps? I ain't got none.
I agree with that 1,000%.
Nigga, what did you say? But what's interesting though is when you get to the J. Cole's, the Kendrick Lamar's, and you would think that if that is successful, why not just replicate it? Everybody replicate so if I'm replicating Fetty Wap or if I'm replicating all this other shit, why not replicate that?
It's hard.
It is harder.
But you know who's severely most underrated new rapper?
Cool.
And I don't even listen to this kind of music, is Louis.
King Louis?
He's so underrated. But to me it'd be a sign when I look at all of the younger Chicago artists, for me it's a sign that they got bad management and bad people around them. For them to be so in demand on one hand, but on another hand not able to really monetize it and not able to mainstream it, like it's a sign of like bad people around you. And super bad decisions. It's the spirit of the music, like you dragging that spirit around with you. And at some point, people gotta realize it ain't just music. It's
karma.
It's like Africans banging the drum to tell you, all right, we running east, we doing this, we doing that. Well, they don't realize the power of the drum they banging. They don't realize what they summoning spirits.
So you've been working, man. I mean, recently, a lot of success recently because we know you wrote Jesus Walks, co-wrote Jesus Walks, and now you got a Grammy for that. Now you got another one.
We got the Oscar for Glory.
Oscar, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
for Glory.
It wasn't a Grammy, it was an
right,
Oscar.
I'm sorry.
Some more distinguished.
A little soft.
I'm sorry. We got the Oscar for Glory, and then based on that, I did this documentary that's in theaters now called In My Father's House, where basically I never knew my father. And so what I did, kind of like an I won move, was I bought the house that he grew up in. But when I got in that house, I didn't feel right. And so I went on a journey to find his father I didn't know and really just tell him what I thought of him. But when I found my father, he had been homeless for 30 years. And so it wasn't that he abandoned me, he fell in a hole. So this film is about rescuing my father from homelessness. I haven't spoken to my father since I was 12 years old. I wonder if he knows that I'm Rhymefest.
He's from Chicago. He won a Grammy for co-writing Jesus Walks, the Kanye West song.
When I found my father, he was homeless on the west side of Chicago.
This is Parade Man. Son, this is Rhymefest.
We're going through some hard times. Homeless, and jobless too.
I learned a lot about myself. And we from Chicago, so we could talk like family, even when we look at my peers. So when I look at Kanye, he knew his mom and dad. His mom is a Fulbright scholar. His dad was a Baptist minister and a Black Panther. I mean, when Kanye went through things, he had his mom and dad to pick him up. This what you gotta do, son. This what you gotta. So it's a confidence to go with it.
Right.
When you look at Common, his father, a basketball player. His mother was a principal of a high school. Lupe's father was a martial arts champion. His mother was a community activist. It's a confidence to go with that.
Right.
My mother was 15 years old when I was born. My father wasn't around. So you know, I'm more comfortable. Hey man, I'll write the song with you. You go out there and do it. Hey man, you know, let me just go ahead. But now that I got my that origin back to myself, I'm like, what am I doing writing Oscar award-winning songs for other people?
Real.
I need to be doing it because my humor comes from here. My sensitivity comes from here. My toughness comes from my mama. My work ethic comes from my mama. So now that I know who I am, it makes all the sense in the world, and I'm not afraid to put that on the line.
So now you're definitely more confident as an artist and in everything.
At 35 years old, and that made me realize it's a lot of grown people out here that need parents. You know what I'm saying? Like grown people that's incomplete and be having unhealthy behavior because we don't know our roots.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of women get with men that be grown and insecure.
And looking for that.
And then take it out on the woman. And then try to take her fire away. Or a lot of women get with men, but really she trying to find a daddy from that man. You know what I'm saying? It can't do that. And so, you know, this film is about completeness. And I encourage everybody, go to inmyfathershousefilm.com and then you can learn more about how you can see the movie.
I found it very interesting watching you go through like different cycles. You know, when you found your dad, it was like you went through a moment where you was like, oh snap, and you was excited, and then you went through a moment and you realized you had to do something to help him, right? And then you went through another moment where it was like you was a dad.
Yeah,
like, look, man.
That's where we at now. Like, I'm the father. I mean, because you got to realize my father homeless for 30 years.
Right.
Man, who got to pay all the expenses and the bills? Me. So that's another dependent. And I don't even get a tax credit.
My mama boyfriends taught me how to womanize, how to run from the truth and tell women lies. Never had a father, and I blame my mama. She made bad judgments and had horrible karma. Couldn't even find a decent man for me to honor. I gave my life to the streets, that was my alma mater.
So now you got the visual and the moment where you dealing with and building with your dad and helping them, and then you have the music for it too. Is there let's talk about the music around the movie.
Man, I look now like Teefa, my music, and I was telling Twan Gabs this not too long ago, our music right now, at the age we at, has to be our ministry. It got to be what we about as human beings and leading other people through our journey and through their journey. Music got to be a soundtrack to people's lives. Man, when I got my first car, man, I was listening to Brand New. When I made love the first time, I was listening to The Syndicate. When I was, it's got to be, our music has to be a series of first experiences for people, the themes of their life, you know what I'm saying? And when music meets movements, it creates change.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
So new music that you will be working on now.
I'm working on. I already finished 2 albums. I'm working on the 3rd one. But the album that I'm about to put out in the new year is called Push the World. I got songs with Bon Jovi, who's actually the group that's coming here this weekend. I'm gonna hang out with them. I got a song called Push the World with Bon Jovi.
Wow.
I got a song called Mastermind with Common and Jesse Jackson, which is crazy. I would love to play that song too. I got a song with Mastermind with Common and Jesse Jackson. But mostly, the album is me and my producer S1. And so S1 produced Power for Kanye, Best Thing I Ever Had for Beyonce. He produced half of Lupe's latest album. And it's my ministry. I got an album in the works with Terry Hunter called Things Women Need to Hear. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
With songs
like I Don't Like Your Kids. It's gotta be the ministry.
That's funny. But that can go both ways. Y'all need to let me tell a woman's side on that.
Okay,
that can go both ways.
Hop on it then.
You know what I'm saying?
So look, me and Terry starting on this album November 1st. You gotta come. I'm staying at this crib for like 30 days. You gotta come through and
I will represent for the ladies, because that can go both ways.
Yeah, Things Men Need to Hear. So we gonna do the single Things Women Need to Hear. You should come jump on it. It's gonna be me and Anthony Hamilton.
I will.
Yeah, you gotta jump on it.
Thank you for the invite.
I need you on that.
I definitely will. That is way too funny, man.
Yeah, so it's the ministry. But that right there, so you take the movie, you take the music that we're doing, and what we're doing at Donda's house, that made me be able to run into a guy like Kenneth Cole. Like, I didn't even know who this dude was I'm at a party rocking in New York, doing this show in New York. This white guy steps to me, he's like, hey man, I really loved your movie, and man, I need your email address. And I'm like, man, I don't go that way, you know. No, I like what you're doing. I want to talk to you about. So, you know, a few weeks later, yo, it's Kenneth Cole. He like, yo, I wanna make you a model. He hits me up, I wanna make you a model on one of my campaigns. I'm like, look, man, I ain't no model, you know. He said, no, the real models are the role models. He was like, I like you because of who you are and what you do. What you represent. Now he got me all over New York on buildings, billboards, bus stops, New York, DC, LA, all over his stores, everywhere. Like I just came back from New York and I'm walking past a tour bus and I just see my face huge and everybody like, that's him. And it's like, yo, it lets me know, like a lot of times in hip hop, we live in dog years. So it's kind of like, oh, you 3 years old, you old.
Right.
You 28, you old. You 35, you old. But I think as hip hop ages, Bun B is a grandfather. Jay-Z is hitting 50. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the industry and the system trick you out of being you.